The City of Bristol, providing beautiful parks, economic development, and a family-friendly community.
All right, it's just 6:45, so we will call the joint meeting to session on Tuesday, January 10th, 2023. Flags to my left, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, first agenda item is the approval of the minutes of the regular joint meeting on December 13th, 2022.
Move approval.
Second.
Any comments, changes, adjustments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We now have number 2, which is the consent calendar. Does anybody wish to remove anything from the consent calendar A through E? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved. Second.
Any other comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 3 is to transfer $6,000 from the general fund contingency account to the human resources schooling.
Move approval. Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We'll go to number 4, transfer $19,485 from the general fund contingency account to the comptroller's office operating budget for the part-time wages and professional fees.
Move approval.
Second.
Comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, to make an additional appropriation totaling $2,513,736 within the road improvements fund.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Comments or questions on this one from anybody? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody
Message from your
opposed?
wife.
Motion carries. Number 6, to make transfers totaling $852,497 within the road improvements fund.
Move approval.
Second.
We're going to give that one to Howe. I heard it first. Any comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, to decrease appropriations totaling $921,957 within the road improvements fund.
Move approval.
Second.
Sebastian gets that one. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, to transfer $10,903 with the Public Works operating budget, within the Public Works operating budget.
Move approval.
Second.
Any comments or questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on number 9, which is the monthly and revenue expense report presentation by our comptroller. Welcome, Diane.
Okay, there we go. Happy New Year, everyone. There is a lot in my report this month. A lot of it is really just information for you to reference. Just quickly to go over the revenues. Tax revenues are basically coming in as expected, and as I've reported previously, we do anticipate now that the supplemental motor vehicle bills went out and are being collected this month, that will probably generate about $500,000 in additional revenue because the grant list for that was $2 million and we budgeted 1.5. So that's just a quick overview on the tax revenues. Building permits basically coming in about the same. We are at 68% of budget. We were at 83% last year at this time. But again, I'm confident that we will meet or exceed 100% of budget by June 30th. Conveyance taxes are at 134%. As you know, we did receive some large conveyance taxes at the, probably, I think it was like in October, September timeframe that actually brought us over our estimates for 2023. And we still have 6 months to go. So I'm sure that will do very well as we get towards June 30th. Investment earnings, as you can see, we actually are at 107% of our budget, so interest rates have been going up, and I know the Treasurer's Office has been very diligent about investing and trying to get those higher interest rates as we move forward into this year. So that's all good news, because I know over the last few years we've done really poorly there with interest rates going down. On the expenditure side, I did report last couple of months, we are watching our fuel and utilities. Right now, we are at about 170,000 over from where we were last year at this time. We did account for that. We do have some money set aside in contingency accounts and reserves to address that as we move forward throughout the rest of the fiscal year. Just to report, this month we do have to do our ARPA report with the Treasury. We are pretty much done with the report. We right now have reported to the federal government $23.3 million in projects. Those are all projects that we actually have executed contracts. What has already been awarded by the city was $27.8 million. I'm actually sorry, 25.1. Of that, we have 23.3 in actual contracts that are out there and actually working right now. As far as expenditures, we've actually spent and dispersed $5.1 million. So we are moving along with that program as we move forward. And as you know, that will go through 2026. We did receive the June 30th, 2022 audit. Very happy to report that was filed before Christmas. As you remember, last year we had a lot of delays on the auditor's delay last year, and we didn't issue until February 28th. Everything, we do have a clean opinion. I did highlight for you in my report some of the pages that you might want to reference. I always tell everybody, if you're going to read anything in the audit, read the transmittal letter and then the management's discussion and analysis. Those give a good high overview of really what happened throughout the fiscal year. In addition, I will just note that our unassigned fund balance is at 12.3% of our expenditures. Board of Finance has a policy of between 12 to 15, so we're kind of in that range. And then the other page that you might want to look at, there is a budget to actual statement on pages 89 to 99, and you can actually see what was budgeted and what actually occurred and any overages and variances on those schedules. So those are, again, just some highlights of if you were going to go look at the document, what you might want to refer to. It grows every year. The footnotes, every year, we're adding at least probably 10 pages to the footnotes. So there's a lot of information in the audit. If you do want a hard copy, let Jody know. She will get you a hard copy. If not, everything is online. We don't ask for very many copies of this from the auditors anymore because we're really pushing everybody to go online and get the audit report. Board of Finance Banking and Audit Committee is meeting January 19th with the auditors, so they will do a full extensive review at that time. The 23-24 budget, all of the budgets are due from departments this Friday, and we will begin the review in my office with the departments, and then the budget hearings start with the Board of Finance the week of February 28th. So watch for that schedule as we finalize that schedule. And then I just put a note here that we are looking at doing a bond issue. We have a number of projects out there that need to be financed. As you know, City Hall, Green Hills renovations. We just did some road radio upgrade for the police public safety system. So there are a number of projects out there that we had planned on. We knew that we were going to have to do something. So we're looking at doing a bond issue probably within the next couple of months to get that financed. That will be presented at the CIP, the first CIP committee meeting in February. So with that, that's my report. Are there any questions on that?
May I ask a question?
Go ahead, Mark.
On page 30, you have the health insurance about $11.7 million. Do we have any update with the sizable retirements that we've had over the past year and we replaced the people? I got to assume, that's got to be up. I don't know if we have year-over-year thoughts on that.
Not as of yet. The insurance committee is meeting later this month to review that with Lockton, And we do expect the OPEB report to be available within the next couple of weeks from the actuaries. I think those two reports will give us a better insight into what's going on.
Thank you.
Great. Glenn, you're up next.
Yeah, question through the chair. Diane, do we have a sense of where the muni rates are at this point in time? You talked about, obviously the raising interest rates helps us on the investment side. It's obviously contra to that.
Exactly,
On the
good
borrowing
question. That's one of the things that we're looking at right now. I think when we looked at the projections during the budget last year, I had wanted to try to do notes around this time.
Right.
Right now, the note rates and the bond rates are very close. So it's
Okay.
one of those things where we may as well just want to do the bonds at this point. The rates that I've been given, the coupon rates are between 4.5 and 5. However, the way it yields, it's about 3.5 to 3.7 is what our advisor has been telling us over the 20 years.
Okay,
Does
great.
that answer your question?
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
for AAA credit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Well, for our credit,
Yep,
yes.
okay,
Yep.
thanks.
Great. Cheryl?
Yes, hi, Diane. Thank you for all the information. In the prior years, I know the Board of Finance had allocated funds to do smaller audits on functional areas and so forth. Is that still going on? If so, what was the last department that had the internal review for controls and so forth? And is that available? And who's next up on the list?
Good question. I might defer to who's next to the chair of the Board of Finance, but the last one we did was the police department. We
Okay.
actually did a review of the payroll processes, trying to find a way to streamline the payroll, automate it, and not use the timesheets, integrate it with the Chrono system, and upload it into Munis, and just look at all of the payroll processes that the police department was doing. That was the last one, and I believe that was, I think it was about a year and a half ago.
Okay. And did you find a lot of methods to upgrade and implement through that?
We did. I mean, we're still working on it. I mean, I'll be honest, COVID didn't help us with implementing a lot of these initiatives, and I do know Kronos is not the easiest thing to program with all of our intricacies with our payroll. So it has taken us probably a little bit longer, but I think the biggest thing right now is to get that working and integrated, and I believe we have a meeting later this month with the police department to try to get that moving, to get that integrated. That was probably the biggest thing to try to get automated over there.
All right, thank you.
And as far as what's next, I know we have talked about it, but we haven't really finalized it yet.
No, we'll be talking about it at the Bank and Audit Committee when it meets next, but yes, we can policy to continue that procedure annually without a department and go back and do a complete review, operational and accounting review. So,
Yep, wonderful. Thank you.
But that money is still in the budget.
Good.
Excellent.
So before the Board of Finance, I'm sorry.
Question, oh, am I on? I'm on. The rating, I know we were talking about the bond rating. I think we were AAA at 129% funding for the pension, and the pension was one of the big areas for that AAA rating. Last, I think I read it right, we're about 120 for the pension. Now, would be AAA as long as we're above 100, or is there like a certain level threshold we have to think about that might impact our funding if, because I'm assuming they will first look at that before we actually get that rated, correct?
That's a good question, but there are other factors that the rating agencies look at in addition to how well funded the pension fund is. The last valuation, we were at 128%. We don't yet have the new valuation. I don't know where that will be yet. I know they're working on it, and I hope it will be released within the next couple of weeks. But there are a whole host of other factors that they look at. It's not just the ratio, the funded ratio of the pension plan. They look at the financial management. They look at what the financial policies are. They look at what our long-range plans are. They look at all of our reserves that we have. You know, in addition to the general fund, we also have our internal service funds. So they look, it's all holistic. It's not just that one factor. Does it help? Absolutely, but it's not just the only one. We'll see what happens. I mean, you know, with the last rating, we made it through, COVID and the downturn of the economy, and we still maintained our AAA with Fitch. You're welcome.
Great. Any questions online? I'll give a chance for Ron? I think he's the only one. All right. I think we're all set with your report,
Yep.
but we did talk about, and I'd like to give everybody a quick overview of ClearGov. And look at that, Jody's right on the spot, ready to show this. So this is something that Diane and I have talked about early on. I don't know how much we've talked about it in front of the Board of Finance and even City Council, but moving towards the new cloud-based electronic age, this is our kind of new budget book, and I really appreciate all the work that's been done behind the scenes with Diane and her team. So go ahead, Diane, give us a quick overview here.
Okay, so just indulge me for like 5 minutes. But I want to thank my staff for this too. Jody put a lot of work into this. Robin and Jessica in my office had to spend a lot of time with the chart of accounts to get everything to load up into this system. So everything feeds from Munis. All of the narratives, we do have to put the narratives in, so at some point the department heads will be doing that. But I'm just going to highlight just brief, very high-level overview. We're hoping this will be available and publish it at the end of this week, so you should be able to go on and look at this. If you see anything, any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me or Jody. But anyway, there's an introductory section. There is our GFOA budget award. So we are able to put that up, which we hope that we already did receive the award for this year's budget. One of the things that I think is really cool on here is the demographics. And this is something that ClearGov does. We don't have to provide any information. This is updated by a database that they have. And it actually is kind of cool how they summarize it. They have the graphs, little charts, little pictures. But there's a lot of information here that we also have this in our official statement when we issue bonds, but I think it's really nice to have it right here that if somebody's looking at it and wants some information on the city, all of this information is right here. The next area that you might want to look at under budget overview, we have the mayor's message, the Board of Finance chairman's budget message, and then the comptroller's budget message. I always tell everyone if there's anything that you want to read, get a high level, always read those 3 messages because it does give a picture of where the budget is and what the budget increases and where the, all the funding is, where it's from and where it goes. We did spend a lot of time this year on the strategic plan. I might have mentioned this before. The strategic plan is something that is now a requirement by the Government Finance Officers Association criteria to get the award. And I know my office and the mayor, we worked on this to make sure we highlighted initiatives for the city and just put them in one spot where they can all be seen and what the long-term plan is. In addition, if you scroll down, Jody, we also had to put it into a long-range operating plan and have assumptions. So just wanted to highlight this, that this is something that, that is new this year. The next thing you might want to look at, there are fund summaries. So we have our general fund. And when you go to the general fund page, you will just get a very high-level overview of what the total expenditures are. Computer's going a little slow. You can get a high level of what the budget expenditures are, what the revenues are. One of the things that is nice with this system, you get all these charts. And again, this feeds right from our financial system. And Jody, just stop right here. So the one thing I do want to show, it's just taking a while to load, there is spreadsheet data. So if somebody wanted to, they can actually click on the spreadsheet breakdown, and you will get the breakdown of all the accounts. I think the computer's just slow here. You get a breakdown of what all the accounts are for the revenue. So I think it's all useful information, and it's all in one spot. And then as you scroll down this basically has all the general fund information all the way down to fund balance charts and expenditure charts.
Diane, can you
Yes.
export the spreadsheets? Do you know?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay,
We'll find out.
thank you.
I think you might be able to, but we'll find out. Then the only other thing I'm just going to show you, we also have, in addition, I'm just going to show you another department. So I think a good one to show is Parks and Rec. When you get into the department summaries, you're actually able to pull up every department's page. And I will say, everything that is in this huge book here is now online. So it was a lot of work to get it up there, but everything is there. We have a good base. So like with Park and Rec, there's an overview of Park and Rec, and then you can click in further into Park and Rec, and you can go down into each of the divisions. And again, each department you go into, you can click on that spreadsheet data, and you can get all the numbers. Again, I know I'm giving you a very high level, but once this is published, you'll be able to go in and you can experiment with it. And then the only other thing that I do want to show you, we do have the capital budget. So the capital budget is online now, a little bit more organized. You can see the total requests. So last year's, or the current year's budget is $117.9 million. And it breaks it down by funding source, and then we list what all the projects are by department. And then we have some pictures, and then we just break it down even further. So everything that is in the budget book right now is in here. And it's a, lack of a better word, moving target. We're always going to be making changes to this as we find out more functionality with it. But I think it's a good thing, and I appreciate the support of the Board of Finance, the City Council, and the Mayor to put this in place, because I think it's a good thing for the city.
I'm excited about it. I think it's a great level of transparency, and I work much better on graphs and visualizations as well, too. I've heard some nice comments around here. I know it's been a lot of work for you as well, and just want to reiterate to everybody here that I kind of been pushing Diane and the team to get this out because I'm excited about it, but it's still kind of relatively draft form, so they're still looking for feedback, and if you find glitches, things of that sort, let us know. And moving forward, we're going to continue to try to use this for our budgeting moving forward in the capital improvement budget that she showed you last.
And not print this anymore.
Yeah, we're not printing as many of those anymore. We always have to have a couple, but for those of you that love paper, I can't pull you off of that, but I'm hoping that a lot of people move to electronic stuff. All right. Thanks, Diane. Appreciate it. I don't think we have any other business to come before us, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned, and we will, 5 minutes from now, 7:12, we'll start the city council meeting. All right, it is 7:13, and we are going to call our city council meeting for Tuesday, January 10th to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So this evening, I'd actually like to start out with an announcement and something that is maybe a little bittersweet, but I think imminently very, very cool. So just yesterday, the National Law Enforcement Hall of Fame Awards were announced, and I'm very proud to say that the Officer of the Year in the Nation for Courage and Service Award was Alec Ayurado from Bristol, Connecticut Police Department. And we have Chief Gould here. There'll be a lot more information about this celebration. It is an unbelievably great act of courage and something that we're all very proud of. So we'll continue to report on how that's going to unfold in May timeframe. So congratulations to Officer Ayurado. On the other side of the coin, I do want to take a moment of reflection. I just learned today that Frank Caputo, who was currently on our Transportation Committee, had passed away today. I know that Frank was actually the chair of the mayor's task force on opioids. Frank's somebody that I got to know over the last year or so. Very dedicated citizen volunteer, worked at Wheeler Health as well. So we'll take a moment of silence for Frank. Thank you. All right, number 2 on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the regular city council meeting on December 13th, 2022.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I think I'm going to give that one to Sebastian. Any comments, changes, additions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We're going to go to number 3 next on public participation, but I did want to make an announcement for those that are in the audience. On our city council meeting agenda today, we have items number 12 and items number 13. They are somewhat interrelated. They're both involving True Leave's change of location, and then 13 is actually True Leave's hybrid license. As you all know, today was the first official day of cannabis sales, adult recreation use cannabis sales in the state, and it's a fast-moving target. So True Leave was not 100% sure on whether or not they would get a DCP approval, the Department of Consumer Protection approval for hybrid. We did learn that they did not. So just to give you all a heads up, the only thing that we'll be discussing tonight and debating and voting on will be the change of location for True Leave, and we will likely table, I'll wait till that happens officially, number 13. Do we have anybody for public participation that signed up here? No. Anybody online for public participation? There's something going on here. I think this is 3 months in a row, but last call, public participation. Good. That must mean everybody's quite happy with what we're doing. So we'll start on my far left with Susan Tyler for announcements.
I have a theme this month for announcements, and it's going to go along the theme of our homelessness problem in Bristol. So first, I want to announce that the 20th annual Shamrock Run and Walk is back on for March 18th up at Chippens Hill. This is the first time since 2019 because they had to cancel the 2020 event the day before it happened because of COVID. So we're back in March. We're back up at Chippens Hill. If you want to sign up, they have a 5 and a 2 mile run, 2 mile walk, and a kids fun run. A lot of the proceeds do go to St. Vincent de Paul, our homeless shelter. And you can go on to www.ctshamrockrun.com. So that's a really exciting thing. And just a quick recap, we do have, in addition to our regular homeless shelter at St. Vincent de Paul, we have our overflow up and running. Our overflow is currently at the First Congregational Church, and it is at full capacity. They cannot take any more people in to the overflow shelter. So we have a second overflow that is going to be opening up probably in about a week and a half. This was in joint partnership with many, many community partners, but mainly like CBDG, the DOH, Journey Home, Main Street Foundation, American Savings Bank. It's going to be held at the Bridge Community Church, right above the Agape House, and that's in about a week and a half. So even though our weather's been a little mild for January, we have a great need. And our resource center is also up and running. And that's Monday through Friday from 10 to 5:30, and that is at the actual shelter. And through ARPA grants, that's how we got the resource center up and running, and we will be having a ribbon cutting there, I believe on the 18th, Mayor?
I think so.
I think
thought
it's
it was
the 18th for the ribbon
16th,
cutting.
but it's one of those. I'll look it up. Well, I'll find it.
But that's it for my announcements.
Great. We'll move on to you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple quick announcements. The Senior Center is hosting a pasta supper this Thursday, the 12th. Seating is from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. with proceeds going to Senior Center programs. The dinner includes salad, pasta, meatballs, bread, beverages, and dessert. And tickets are $8 for adults and $4 for children under 6. And you have to purchase the tickets at the Senior Center office at 240 Stafford Avenue between 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. And also, I just wanted to give some quick information because we're getting into the winter months here more firmly, and heating and fuel costs are rising, and people are experiencing probably some significant bills coming their way. But through Eversource, I know they're nobody's best friend right now, but they do have some income-based assistance programs for qualifying customers. If you qualify through your income with a financial hardship, Eversource cannot turn off your service between November 1st and May 1st. And if you or someone in your household has a serious or life-threatening illness, you may be eligible for protection from service disconnection if you do not pay your bill. They also have matching payment programs and payment plans for qualifying customers. So the number for Eversource, if you qualify for these plans, is 860-286-2828 or eversource.com/billhelp. In addition to Eversource, Operation Fuel is another good program locally that helps, again, for those that qualify. Their number is 860-243-2345. Their website is operationfuel.org for more information. So if your circumstances have changed as far as the number of people in your household or your income, and you haven't checked in a while or you never checked, it's worth checking out. If you know a neighbor or a family member that might qualify and meets the income threshold, please let them know. Because like I said, prices are going up, so these are a couple options to help some of the residents out there. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Sebastian. And I did confirm 11:30 on the 18th for St. Vincent de Paul. So thank you. Jackie?
I don't have any announcements this month, Mayor.
Great. Thank you. Andrew?
Just a couple. The School Readiness Council is planning a Family Fun Day on the 17th. It will be at the Imagination Center. They're working off the last of the little kinks in the system, and next month we will have everything locked, solid, and bare for you. The Vets Council, on February 19th from 1 to 2 at the main library on Main Street, there's going to be a ceremony to unveil a painting created for a local veteran, 98-year-old Joe Caminiti. He is he the last World War II here in Connecticut?
No, I think there's 6 or 7. One of the last, though.
Well, they have a photo, a painting that somebody made for them, and it will be unveiled there. The artist, Don Scott, will be there to present the completed work, and the mayor and I had a sneak peek at it beforehand, and it really is, he was a talented man because it's beautiful, and it wasn't finished, and they did great work. On January 28th, for the Parks Department, the Malone Aquatic Center at 6 p.m. will be hosting the first time a Swim with the Mermaids and Mermen event. The event is $10, whether you're a resident or non-resident. They're asking for you to register ahead of time because it can get busy. You can get it at bristolrec.com. And then they have an event from January 30th to February 10th. You're invited to brighten up a senior's day and have your children create Valentine's cards for the Bristol senior community. Completed cards can either be mailed or dropped off to the Bristol Park and Rec office at 51 North High Street or at the Malone Swim Center at 325 Mick Street. That's it for me, Mayor.
Great. Thanks. And just to go back, too, so Joe Caminiti is Iwo Jima Joe. He is the last Iwo Jima survivor in the state of Connecticut. So that's perfect, though. That's great. Penny, thank you very much for your announcement. Cheryl?
Yes, I was just going to say that I dared Councilwoman Lusitani to get the picture done with the mermen or mermaids, and she double dog dared me. So we have a little competition going on here. I just have a couple announcements. First of all, if you still have a Christmas tree that needs to be picked up, Public Works will pick them up on your normal trash day, but the last day is the 20th. So after that, you'll have to either bring it to the transfer station or find another environmentally friendly way to dispose of your tree, maybe a goat farm. In the month of December, Bristol recognized a new Eagle Scout. We have Joseph Glazier of Troop 29 who earned this distinction, and very impressive young man, and so I wanted to do a call out to Joseph. And then lastly, this Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and the Greater Bristol branch of the NAACP will be having a breakfast as usual. They do this every year. It's well attended and a very worthwhile program. This will be their scholarship breakfast, so it also benefits youth in our community. The keynote speaker is Denisha Craig. It will be at Bristol Eastern High School at 8 a.m., and I understand tickets can still be had at the door. So if you have any questions, please see one of the council people for more information. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Cheryl. Jolene?
Yep, I have a few. So the Board of Education will be holding 2 budget workshops on January 17th and January 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Board of Education auditorium. The public is welcome to attend to see the Board of Education work on the annual budget. Secondly, to all Bristol Public School parents, there will be a letter that will go out the week of January 17th to all families for the 2022-2023 school year for pre-K to 7th grade. This letter will explain the school assignments aligned with the redistricting plan for each child involved. A second letter will be in early February for those that will be at a new school with information such as parent orientation dates and dates for students to visit their new schools. Lastly, on December 16th, the Bristol Arts and Innovation Magnet School hosted its first grand opening art gallery that showcased local artists' artwork. I heard it was a wonderful event, and I look forward to the city enjoying more events like these. That's it.
Great. Thanks, Jolene. And I only have one other kind of general update to provide to people, and something I'm excited about. I think the year of 2023 is going to be a hopeful year, and a lot of activity happening in and around Hope Street. So we actually have two site plans that are going in front of our planning and zoning. One is the Bi-Carrier Center Square project, which is now two 4-story multi-use buildings that will have 4 dedicated restaurant spaces underneath, and I think it's 114 apartments now. I really look at that as something that's a true game changer downtown, because we're bringing both the living and the entertaining portion. We already have Bristol Health, which I actually got into an excavator yesterday and started to dig a little hole. They'll be digging next week. Actually, they would have been digging today if it wasn't going to rain later this week. So, that is a project that is hitting the ground. And then the other project that's coming through planning and zoning is a rebuild of Mafali's Plaza, which is also a multi-use project with 12 apartments above retail space. So very exciting things happening and moving forward here downtown. And I would recommend that if you don't follow the economic and community development meetings on the first Thursday of the month, you can go online, check it out. There's lots of good things coming, and I'm just going to keep it high level with that downtown update. And one last update, too, that's also downtown, but important to all of us. I counted when I came in here tonight. I think we love coming to the Board of Ed. I've spent a lot of time here in my previous career, but I think we have 8 meetings left, and we're very hopeful because City Hall is still on time, on budget, and I'm looking forward to having our October meeting in the new refurbished City Hall. So those are my announcements. Did anybody miss anything and want to go back and cover anything? We'll move on to agenda item number 5, which is our consent calendar, and it's items A through H. Does anybody wish to remove any items from the consent calendar?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to pull 5H.
5H, okay. So then anything else from anybody else? I will entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar A through G.
So moved.
Second.
Any other comments or questions about A through G? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. So Jackie, if you make a motion to approve 5G, that would be great.
I beg your pardon?
Can you make a motion to approve 5G for me?
H.
Oh, 5H, sorry. H, yeah.
Yes,
My
I make a
alphabet.
motion to approve 5H.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. So Jackie, you must have a question on that. So go ahead and shoot your question out.
I do. Because I've had constituents ask about that particular area of town, I just wanted some clarification as to exactly what is being done there.
So we do have Ray Rogozinski in the office, in the building, so from Department of Public Works. So I'll ask you, Ray, to come up and give us an update on this LOTSIP project, right?
So the project, the project to reconstruct Walker Street is from Peck Lane to the intersection of Witches Rock Road. So it's that section, section of the road. So the section to reconstruct Walker Street is the city section of Walker Street. So it goes from Peck Lane up to Witches Rock Road. And the work consists of reconstructing the road, which means digging up, installing, a new base, so there'll be new, pavement curbing, and then there's sidewalks on the west side, so going up the hill on the right side, being installed. The specific item that's subject to the council item is procurement of easements, and there are easements for really sightline and grading issues, not necessarily permanent easements. So essentially, the road will essentially stay where it is, plus or minus horizontally 2 or 3 feet, and vertically approximately, a foot.
Okay, thank you, Ray.
Great. Oh, we have one more, Ray. Cheryl, go ahead. Push it.
I had problems with my mic also.
Okay. Repaving some of these roads, will that happen in the spring as well? Ritz's Rock and Peck?
We're currently looking at that, probably not Wishes Rock Road, Peck, we're looking at it either this year or next year.
Okay, but this will take care of the drainage issues that Witches Rock is experiencing.
Correct.
Wrong mic. Okay, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Ray. Any other comments or questions? I think we're ready to vote then. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ray, final parting.
No, thanks.
Oh, you just waited. It passed. We're good, Ray. All right. Number 6 is reports and committee reports. We'll start with 6A, which is you, Susan, on the real estate committee.
Okay, I do have a motion. It is hereby moved in accordance with Connecticut General Statutes, Section 8-24, that the Bristol City Council refer to the Planning Commission for its report on the proposed purchase of properties known as Lot 63 Belmont Street, Assessors Map 8, and Lot 9 Hart Street, Assessors Map 58.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Great. Anything you'd like to add, Sue, as just a little overview on this? It's not much, I know.
We've had a few properties coming to the real estate committee lately, and basically the owners, some of them, they've been trying to sell it on their own. Others come to us for other reasons, but they're looking for the city to purchase these lots. And this is just a normal course of business to take both of these lots and send it for an 8-24 to all the different city departments to see if anyone has an interest or a use for these particular parcels.
Most likely for this one, open space up in that area. It's a residential neighborhood. It's a pretty large parcel, too, if I remember correctly. I don't remember how
Hart
big,
Street
but-
one is huge.
Yeah. So, normal course of business. We'll talk about this more. Any other questions for anybody? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, we have 6B, which is also you, Sue, from the Ordinance Committee.
Oh, okay. My bad, I did not print this one. Okay. Do you have it open?
You have it for Sebastian, so.
You want to read it? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Sebastian, that's all right. You can do the motion.
I just lost mine.
I have a motion to waive a reading here. Is that?
Yep, you can do
In
that.
accordance with Section 21F of the Charter of the City of Bristol, I hereby move that the reading of the proposed amendments to the Code of Ordinance to be introduced this date pertaining to administration be waived.
And I need a second. Sue, you can
Second.
do that. Sue gets a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That motion carries. Now, go ahead, Sebastian, we'll continue with the
Motion
second.
to introduce in accordance with Section 21F of the Charter of the City of Bristol, the following amendments to the Code of Ordinances are hereby introduced. I hereby move that the time and place of Tuesday, February 7th at 4:50 p.m. in Meeting Room 1, 131 North Main Street, second floor, Bristol, Connecticut, be set for the holding of a public hearing thereon by the Ordinance Committee, and that the city clerk publish notice of said public hearing and the proposed amendments to the Code of Ordinances as required by city charter.
Great, I think that's good. Can we have a second?
Second.
Yep. And the rest is in here for people to review, so we waive the reading of all of that. So I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Great. I think that's it for you, Sue. Anything else? Let me just look.
Nothing on the agenda, but are we going to
Yeah, go right into any.
go into our committees?
Yeah, committee reports that you
Okay.
have as well.
So real quick, as far as the police commission goes, I just wanted to mention that we actually have a recruit graduating January 26th. Very exciting. And we also, Deputy Chief Morello is actually down at the FBI Academy down in Quantico. So we're not going to be seeing him for several weeks, but that's quite an honor. It's very prestigious to have an administrator from your police department attend the FBI Academy. Moving on to code enforcement, I just have a few numbers this month. We actually have been spending a lot of time, and I think our code enforcement activity has been really improving and becoming a lot more efficient. Blighted properties that are on this report for the month of December were listed as 3. And that gave us a total for the whole entire year for 2022 of 62 blighted properties that came through code enforcement. Just because I don't have too many numbers that would give us a good idea of what's going on, I want to thank Corporation Counsel, specifically Noel, for pulling out some of the fine amounts just to be able to give everyone an idea. And for 2022, we had fines and penalties. We had $11,000, a little over $11,000 for shopping carts. And that kind of interests me, as well as probably some of my fellow ordinance members, because shopping carts just came up in ordinance committee. We kind of need a way to make it a little bit easier for Lindsay Rivers for Public Works to enforce the shopping carts that get left all over the city. And for 2022, just for shopping cart violations alone, we actually collected over $5,000. So that's one of the successes in code enforcement. And also, just for 2022, just to give you an idea of the amount of citations issued and penalties for people not paying, in 2022, it was over $95,000. Right now, we only collected a little over $4,000, but that's very deceiving because a lot of the fines are still outstanding, they're still being appealed, and they could also just be liens on properties. So kudos to, I think, our code enforcement efforts. We're really kind of getting to where we should be. And just a quick reminder that the whole goal of this is simply compliance. We just want people to follow the rules and to get their properties in safe conditions. That's it for code enforcement. An ordinance is, if you're interested, and we have several topics coming on ordinance in the last month and the upcoming months. We have the shopping cart, we have cannabis in public places that we are dealing with, and we are also working on removal of elected and appointed officials as the ballot question, which was overwhelmingly supported this past November. So if you want to come and partake in some really good conversation about the things that affect our community, ordinance meeting is every first Tuesday of the month, and it is now at City Hall West.
Great.
At 5 o'clock.
Thanks.
5 o'clock.
And I do look forward to code enforcement. I know that they're going to work on like the zoning enforcement report where we're going to see numbers of properties that have come up, part of these fines, and it gives you a good picture. But realistically, just rough numbers, because I'm part of that committee as well too. We see 20 or 30 properties a month that we talk about, and we are now taking 10 and 15 of those properties off the list because they are stepping up and cleaning up whatever messes or code violations that they have. So it's a good thing for the city cleaning it up. Thank you very much, Sue. Sebastian, you're up next with any committee reports.
No reports tonight.
All right. Jackie, any reports?
No reports, Mayor.
And Andrew, do you have any reports?
Just a couple. Let me start that with thanking. I'd like to welcome Michael Tingley to Bristol's Parks Department. He's joining the city and will be the project coordinator for the best program created by one of the former mayors. We also want to recognize Jay Crowley, He'll be joining the team for the new Youth and Family Coordinator. I hope that everybody will welcome them into the new city, new department, and working for Josh, and looking forward to seeing what they got. Veterans Council welcomed Forestville's Post 209 to be a full voting member to the council. To most, that doesn't sound much, but when you're a veteran, that's an important piece. So, the Cannon, Lenny Lamoth, a former employee, has the wheels done, came back from Amish country. The cannon itself is being sandblasted. I don't know if they're putting it out. They're going to wait till spring, I believe, to put everything together. And then we'll unveil it probably right around Memorial Day when we do the bridge, hopefully. The SRC is creating videos for Facebook. They're gearing them towards new learners, and a pilot program was also discussed for building early connections with the little ones and parents who are entering the Bristol Public Schools. That would be great to see them reach out come summertime. Then it'll be okay. They'll have a smoother transition come August, September time. Blues contract in the parks is almost set and signed. Very important for most of this town. We all go out there and sit and enjoy it at night. So we should have that set next month, and we'll reach out then. I'll give you more information as it comes. Good.
Thanks, Andrew. Cheryl, committee reports.
Yes, hi. I really wasn't going to have any report, but then I felt I should maybe go over the recently adopted city sidewalk snow and ice, policy that was voted on at our last Public Works meeting. I feel that if I go over this policy, it won't snow. That's always how it works. But this was finalized and cleaned up a little bit and to be made public so that people understand what to do in the case of cleaning sidewalks, because a lot of calls are fielded by both the police and Public Works. In essence, sidewalks are to be cleared within 12 hours for a storm that ends between the hours of 3 a.m. and 9 p.m., and within 9 hours for a storm that ends between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. Or when the emergency snow parking ban ends is also consideration of when the storm ends. So sidewalks are to be cleared of snow and ice. Now, should you have a neighbor or you cite a sidewalk that is not cleared properly for people to, walk on safely, the requirement is that you direct your complaint to the police department, at which point they will investigate, they will cite the homeowner and trying to encourage them to clean the sidewalk. Should that all fail, the Public Works crew will come out, they will clear the sidewalk of snow and ice, and there will be a fee assigned, unfortunately, to the homeowner. So by having proper notice, we hope to avoid that. We really want everybody to clean their sidewalks so everybody can walk clearly and safely. I will be posting this on my Facebook page. I know the mayor has mentioned they will too. It's available on the Public Works, city page. But those are the nuts and bolts of it. I mean, it's a 3-page policy, as most policies are, so there's a little bit more in there. But in essence, let's, if we all work together to clean our sidewalks, everybody will be happy. And please don't forget your fire hydrants if if one is located near your home. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl. Jolene, announcements.
Yes, I just want to add to Cheryl's update or whatever that you have, the policy. It's also very important if you have to clean your sidewalk and you're in a neighborhood that children use it for back and forth to walking to school. I know that was a big thing last year. We have children walking on the street, children falling from ice. So it is very important to clean that off. Lastly, I have that the Bristol Parks Rec Youth Commission Services put together the largest holiday gift-giving program this season, helping over 500 families. So I just want to give a huge thank you out to them for all that they did this year. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Any other committee reports that we might have missed? Nope. I think we're good then. So we will move on to number 7, which is unfinished business. Does anybody have any unfinished business? Hearing none, we will go on to 8, which is new business. I'm not aware of any new business. Anybody else? No. We'll go to number 9, which is resignation. So, Marina, do we have any resignations? I think we got a couple.
So we have 2. Karen Vibert from Board of Ed, and then myself as acting town clerk.
Yes. So thank you very much for those resignations. And just to kind of give you guys a high-level overview of what we're going to do tonight as well, too, is I want to thank Marina profusely for her service as acting town clerk until we could go out and find a new town and city clerk. We will introduce Erica in a little bit, and before we go into executive session, we'll actually swear Erica in because she will start officially tomorrow. So welcome to Erica. And again, thank you, Marina. We really appreciate you stepping up for the last month and a half, and look forward to continuing to work with you as the assistant town clerk. So that's great.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to put the report on file and send letters of thank you to those individuals.
Great.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? Good, motion carries. So now we move on to those appointments. I'm actually going to start this too with a little bit of an announcement as well. Very unusual that we have appointments for elected officials. Most months we are focusing on those committees and boards and commissions where we appoint people. So I'm going to go through all those regular kind of monthly appointments. And we do have 2 Board of Education resignations. The second one you heard about. The first one was Chris Wilson, which I think was announced last month. And we have actually 2 replacements that we will announce tonight and vote on tonight. And then we will actually swear them in during this appointment session because they're both here in the audience and we want to get them on a fast start. So I'll start first with the Mayor's Task Force on AIDS. I need a motion to replace Janelle Howard with Michael Tingley, who Andrew introduced earlier, who is our Drug-Free Communities Project Coordinator, and that task force doesn't have a term. So I need a motion.
Move to approve?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. On the Commission for Persons with Disabilities, I would like to entertain a motion to replace Shannon Wellborn, who resigned, with Barbara Bajorny to an unexpired term that goes through 6/24.
Move to approve?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Now, on the Board of Fire Commissioners, I would like to entertain a motion to replace Dennis Crispino, whose term expired, with Joyce Patak, with a new term that will expire on 1/26.
Move approval.
Second?
And we have Joyce in the audience here, too. Thank you very much, Joyce. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Now on the Bristol Historic District Commission, I think last month we had a series of kind of unfortunate 2-9, which is a automatic resignation for missing number of meetings. This is a committee that meets very unregularly, and they only met 3 times. So that means if they didn't make 2 out of the 3 meetings, they actually got automatically resigned. That happened last month. So I'm going to do this as a bulk. I'm going to read it. It's a little long and complicated, but we'll do one motion, and then we'll go through all of them. So we're going to reappoint Catherine Norton to a term to expire on 1/26. And we're going to reappoint the regular commissioner members, Daniel Mike. His term will expire on 1/24. Colleen Nicastro, her term to expire on 1/25. And Patricia Philippon, the term to expire on 1/26. And again, those were all 2-9 resignations. And then finally, reappoint the alternate member, Bernadette Dutremble, to a term that will expire on 1/25, another 2-9. So I need a motion for all of those.
Move approval.
Second.
Great. Any questions on that? There was a lot, but again, this is all Bristol Historic District Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Are we good on that, Marina? Did I get them all? Good. All right. Inland Wetlands Commission. We would like to reappoint David James Scarrett, who was also a 2-9 resignation, but does wish to continue. His term will expire on 5/25.
Move approval.
Second.
Who'd you give that to? I don't know. We'll give it to Sue Tyler. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Board of Library Directors, to reappoint Valina Carpenter to a term that expires on 1/26, to reappoint Andrea Kapczynski, that term expires also on 1/26, and to reappoint Nicholas Jakubowski, term to expire on 1/26.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, Transportation Commission, we are going to replace Donald Paldo, whose term expired, with Andrew Collins, and that term will now expire on 1/26. And we are going to reappoint Craig Minor, and that term will expire on 1/26.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we're going to go to our Board of Education, finally. Sorry, thank you, ladies. You're going to get used to this room anyway over time. The Board of Education, first appointment is to appoint Jill Fitzsimmons. She's going to replace Christopher Wilson, who resigned last month, to a term that will expire in November of 2025. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Second one is Maria Simmons. She is going to replace Karen Vibert, who we just heard resigned this evening, and she will replace Karen to a term that will expire in November of 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Marina, I'd like to do this right now, if we could, to go ahead and swear them in. You have the oath. We'll ask both of you to come up to that microphone right there.
Have you raise your right hands? Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Connecticut and its laws, the ordinances of the City of Bristol, enacted pursuant thereto, and that you faithfully discharge according to law your duties as members of the Board of Education according to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God? I do.
So, okay, yeah, by the way, just pointed out, Maria just stood up, Maria Simmons. So we didn't formally introduce her, and people might not know who they are. So that's Maria Simmons. So everybody wave to Maria Simmons. And then Jill Fitzsimons. Simmons and Simons, it gets a little confusing. But congratulations to both of you, and look forward to working with you. Okay, and we have one last appointment, and we will hold this swearing-in ceremony till right before the executive session. But I need a motion to replace Acting Clerk Marina Bigos with Erica Cabilla. Term will start tomorrow, January 11th, and that will finish out a 4-year term that goes through 11/26.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Give it to Pat.
Sebastian has that one. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We'll let you say something after when we swear you in if you'd like, Erica. No, I told her she wasn't going to have to say anything. She's going to be at the next meeting. All right. I didn't miss any appointments, did I? I think we're good. All right. Number 11, we are going to go on to a resolution, and I will ask somebody to go ahead and read the resolution, and then we'll take a vote on it rather than repeat it twice. Does somebody have it?
I got it.
Andrew, go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved that the City Council of the City of Bristol, Connecticut, that Mayor Jeffrey Caggiano, elected on November 1st, 2021, and sworn into office on November 8th, 2021, is hereby authorized to execute on behalf of the City of Bristol any and all documents related to the Connecticut Neglected Cemetery Account Grant Program, and that said official is authorized to enter into and execute any and all agreements, contracts, and documents necessary to obtain the process said grant, including but not limited to any final grant documents. Be it further resolved that this matter must be referred to the Board of Finance for any necessary action.
Great. Can I have a second?
Second.
And this is a roll call vote, Marina, so I'll let you go and call the roll.
Lusitani? Yes. Tebow?
Yes.
Howe?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Paniotto,
Yes.
and Tyler,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, so we are on to number 15, but before we do 15, let's,
What
oops.
happened to
Oh, I'm
12,
sorry.
13?
Oh, wow, I skipped way over stuff. Very important stuff, too, by the way. So we have guests here. They're shaking in the background. Sorry, number 12, to approve Tree Leaves change of location from 159 East Main Street to 820 Farmington Avenue. And one thing that I do want to make clear for the group here is in the packet, I think, Marina, we still have in this packet online, at least that I'm looking at, the original letter that was for the hybrid location. But I know through a request from True Leave and then a reissued letter from Robert Flanagan, we did get a letter, and I don't have it in front of me right now, for just the move of location for a medical dispensary. Did that get distributed to everybody? Did everybody see it?
I have it.
Okay, good. You have that. Has everybody else seen that new letter? Can you do me a favor and read the letter, if you wouldn't mind, Sue, just to make sure we all have it? Because it wasn't in my packet, but.
Hi, can I skip the top parts?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for reaching out to the office and providing information relative to the compliance with the City of Bristol ordinance regarding a proposed cannabis establishment dispensary facility for the above captioned property. And the above address is 820 Farmington Avenue. The following information has been reviewed. Your letter dated January 6th, 2023, a compilation map depicting a 250-foot radius for 820 Farmington Avenue, drawn by SLR Consulting, dated December 21st, 2022, stamped and sealed by Gregory A. Szozowski, Connecticut, LS. The following information is confirmed. Number one, ordinance section 13-124. Your client is proposing to operate a dispensary facility at the above captioned property. Number two, ordinance section 13-125. The compilation map listed above does not appear to include any of the uses listed in the ordinance. B, the above captioned property is located within the BG General Business Zone. Should you have any questions, please call me. Very truly yours, Robert Flanagan, City Planner. And this letter went to Attorney Glassman. from
Excellent.
True Leave.
And so also in our packet, which is all unchanged, are the lease agreement, the DCP relocation letter approval, and our ordinance information. Anything else that anybody needs here? And I just want to make sure that was clear for everybody because that was a last minute change. Sue, maybe we can put a motion forward then?
So we're voting on their change of location for their medical dispensary.
Correct.
I make a motion, so moved,
To approve.
Second.
to approve it.
Yep, and just to read it out loud, to approve True Leaf's change of location as a medical dispensary from 159 East Main Street to 820 Farmington Avenue. So we have a motion and a second.
Thank you.
Any other questions, clarifications that we need? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, as I spoke about before, we're on number 13, which is the approval of True Leaf's hybrid license. They have not achieved that designation from DCP yet, so they don't have all of their information for that. So I'll entertain a motion to table, I would assume. Sue?
Make a motion to table item 13, True Leaves hybrid license request to the city
Great,
council.
a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations to you all. We'll be seeing you again, I'm sure, in the future. All right. Number 14 is the documents to hold harmless an agreement between the City of New Britain and the City of Bristol and to refer to Corp Council. This is not a resolution, correct? This is just a regular motion, so I need a motion.
I have it open. if
Go
you
ahead.
like. I hereby move that the City of Bristol enter into an entry and hold harmless agreement between the City of New Britain and the City of Bristol. This agreement is to allow the City of Bristol to enter property owned by the City of New Britain's Water Department for the sole purpose of installing temporary sedimentation control systems water handling, cofferdams, channel boulders, and to perform grading in conjunction with the replacement of bridge number 04091 Jerome Avenue over Freeman Hill Brook in the city of Bristol. I further move that the mayor, acting mayor, council be authorized to execute any necessary documents to effectuate this agreement, and that this matter be referred to the Corporation Counsel's office for any necessary action.
Second.
Second by Sebastian. Any comments or questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, I was getting so excited about it before, I wanted to get Erica sworn in, so I think that's our next duty here, and I'll ask Marina to go ahead and do that.
Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties as town clerk and registrar of vital statistics to the best of your ability, so help you God, or upon a penalty of perjury?
I do.
Erica will get to run our next meeting. We're looking forward to that and doing all the good things in the town clerk's office. And just a little background on Erica, too, for the audience is Erica is coming over from Plymouth, where she was an elected town clerk, has many years of experience over there, and we're privileged and honored to have her here. Brings a breadth of experience and knowledge, and looking forward to working with you, Erica. So great. All right, next we will be moving into executive session, so I will entertain a motion to go ahead and to move into executive session for items 15 and 16. Before I do that, Attorney Kowicki, who comes with us on this one?
The first item, it'll be the personnel director of our Penning and our staff, and the second item, just ours.
Okay, great. Great. And before I take the vote, I have to say goodnight to Howie and tell him to go to bed, because that gets cut off sometimes. So Howie, go to bed if you're watching. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. So a reminder, no votes were taken in executive session, but I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was to my right.
Somebody
Second
did.
was to my left. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Cheryl, you're up first with the first motion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to approve a 3-year labor agreement between the City of Bristol and AFSCME Council 4, Local Number 233, effective July 1, 2022 through June 30, 2025, and to refer to the Board of Finance.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Motion carries. You're up.
Mr. Mayor, I have a motion. I hereby move that the City of Bristol enter into a full and final settlement in the matter of City of Bristol versus Travelers Casualty Insurance Company of America, RM44 Holdings, LLC, John Sinise and Kelco Construction and Development Company, docket number HHB CV 22-607-6364S, wherein the City of Bristol will receive the amount of $40,000. The settlement is a claim on a bond for a failure of sedimentation and erosion control measures not being performed on Mitchell Street, i.e. the laying of a minimum of 4 inches of topsoil and the planting of grass seed. I further move that the mayor, acting mayor, corporation counsel, or assistant corporation counsel be authorized to execute any releases or any other documents to effectuate the full and final settlement and to withdraw the matter currently pending in the Superior Court.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, I don't see any other business to come before us, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move,
Second.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.